you do have a way of heating up your space, feel free to do that. Otherwise, you can have layers on like I do. You can have a hot water bottle ready to go for this part of practice and the end, or a wheat bag or something warm, blanket. And let's just settle into the breath. Just noticing the rise and fall of your breath. Noticing the beautiful warm sensation as you breathe out. Just take the breath a little deeper into the body, nice big inhale through the nose, fill up. And open up your mouth and exhale, release. Go again, nice big deep breath in. And exhale all the way out. One more time, deep breath in. And release. Coming back to breathing in and out through your nose. And we'll just take a wriggle of the fingers and the toes, maybe a point and flex of your feet. You can roll your wrists and maybe your ankles. Do some circles through the wrists and the ankles. And then the other way. Getting a couple of little pops in the wrists and the ankles. And then maybe yawn your body open, stretch your arms out or up over your head. And then we're going to start off with a banana shape or a half moon shape. So you're going to bring the bolster over your hips if you'd like to weight your hips down. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. Arms are going to go up over your head. You can interlace to start off with, just to link the arms together. And then we'll lift the head and shoulders across to the left side of the mat. And then take your feet across to the left as well. So you're getting a nice big extension through the right side of the body, creating that banana shape. Feel free to cross the right ankle over the left if you'd like, creating a little bit more stretch all the way down to the pinky toe. And think about breathing space into your side body, particularly the right side where there's all that extension. Keeping a gentle focus on your breath. Hopefully stop your mind from wandering off. If your mind does wander off, that's okay. It's just about coming back to the breath so that you're observing when the mind does wander. You're observing the thoughts that distract you. And even that in itself is a meditation practice. When you're ready, we'll slowly lift up and come back to center. So let's go head and shoulders, and then you can uncross the feet if you cross them, or just shuffle them back across to the middle of the mat. Maybe take a little wiggle of your hips, and your shoulders, and your heels. Just letting the sensation of that posture disappear. And when it has, we'll take it across to the other side, so you can interlace your hands again, lift your head and shoulders, take them across to the right, and then feet across to the right. You can have the feet together, or it might feel nice to hook the left ankle over the right, and then I'm going to let go of the interlace and hold my left wrist with my right hand instead. Feeling this nice big stretch through the left side of your body. So imagine you had outside seams in your body, and you're stretching the whole left side. Back body is nice and heavy so that your breath can flow freely, creating that meditation practice. And then we'll slowly lift up, come back to center. Uncross the feet and come back to the middle of the mat. You can release your hands. Maybe take your arms out to the side or bring them down by your side. And when you're ready, you're going to blink the eyes open just so you can lift your hips up. So press down into your feet. You're going to lift your hips up and slide a bolster or pillow underneath your lower back. Get the hips nice and heavy. I'm doing a little windshield wiper of my knees side to side just to make sure the bolster is in a comfortable position with the lower back curling around it. And then when you stretch your feet out long, your hips are elevated up over the bolster. You feel a little bit of opening up through the ribs. You can bring your arms out to the side or up over your head, wherever you'd like, to just relax into a hip elevated Shavasana. So think we've done the side bend laterally, and now we're doing back bend. Now you want to imagine that space, that opening through the top of your feet, your shins, your knees, quads, hip flexors, belly, front ribs, chest. Now slowly slide the feet back in. Press down into your feet to lift your hips up. Slide the bolster out of the way and then curl up to one side. And then we'll press up and over and do the opposite. So bring the bolster back into the middle of your mat. And we're going to go for a splat pose. So hips elevated again over the bolster, but this time you're forward facing. So the hips are up high, big toes can be in towards each other, heels out to the side. And then at about halfway, I'm just going to switch which direction my head is facing. Just to get an even opening through the neck in this position. And we'll come back to center. I'm going to place your hands down and lift up. I'm going to grab hold of my blocks and just bring them to frame about a quarter of the way from the top of the mat. And then I'm going to bring my toes to the back end of the mat, hips to the heels. I'm going to take a little rock side to side here, just almost massaging your hips down over your heels. If you've got a bit more space, so when you're sitting back like this, you've got space between your hips and heels, feel free to put your bolster there or a pillow or cushion or anything else. Folded up blanket maybe, anything that can just help to soften that space. And then we're going to fold in. I've got a bit of a gap between my knees, probably about just slightly more than a fist worth of gap. You can have more or less than that. Knees closer together will give you more rounding through your lower back. Knees further apart will give you more fold of your upper body, so a bigger fold at the hip crease. And we're going to go through a little series, starting here in child's pose.
postures. Try and use each minute to focus on your breath, to observe your breath within the posture. Turning your practice into a moving meditation. Our first adjustment will be, you're going to keep the pose with your lower body, but just slide the bolster further forwards, so that it's just your hands on the bolster now and your head can rest through, maybe hands and wrists. Even though your arms are extended, your elbows don't have to be locked straight, mine have a bend in them. Then when you're ready, let's slide the hands underneath the bolster. Press it forwards, and then you're going to lift up and bring your ribs down over the bolster, so we're getting a little Sphinx pose back bend. Forearms down, and then you can grab hold of one of your blocks and rest your chin on it if you like. If you prefer a more of a hang through the back, through the head, so you get a stretch through the back of the neck, feel free to lower your forehead down. Maybe you don't even need the block and you want that sensation of having the head hanging down. Slowly lift up. I'm going to grab hold of the blocks and back. Slide the bolster back. And we'll come into a little toe crunch. Lift your knees up and slide the bolster underneath. Have your toes tucked under. Then resting your hands either on your thighs closer to your knees or up further towards your hips. The higher you can get your shoulders stacked over your hips and heels, the more you'll feel it in the toes, in the arches of the feet. Up. Slide the bolster forward so you can point your toes and give them a little pitter patter on the mat. Maybe a wiggle of the heels in and out. Then we'll tuck the toes under again, lift up and slide the bolster underneath your knees, and then you're going to step your right foot forwards. Take your blocks to get up nice and high through the chest. And then slowly lunge in and then fold forward, draping your torso down over your right thigh. Just coming into a lunge. onto the blocks. Start to stretch out your right leg and let your hips slide backwards. You're going to flex your right foot and come into a half split pose. If you feel like you've got a little more to go here, you can slide your right foot a bit further forwards. And then feel free to stay up high if that feels like enough of a stretch for your hamstring. Or you can start to fold down a little lower, maybe elbows to the blocks or working your way down to your hands towards the floor or a lower setting of block. Again, observing your breath in the shape. Even observing your breath now when we're about to move back out of the shape. So you're going to come up again, so get up high on the blocks. Bring the right one to the inside of the right leg. So you're going to either re-lunge and you can drape your torso down over your thigh again. In that case, keep your right one on the right side. Otherwise, we're going to come lower into more like a lizard lunge, so you can toe heel your right foot out to the side. Climb the blocks a bit further forwards. And then maybe you get a little bit lower down so that your chest might actually be in line with your right thigh rather than draped over it. Or maybe it's even lower, so you might go lower down. Some of you might even be able to have your elbows or forearms on the floor rather than blocks. For me, this feels strong enough, especially at this time in the morning. We'll slowly climb the hands back up onto the blocks. We're going to tuck the back toes and lift the hips up for pyramid pose. So you can step the back foot in, maybe kick the bolster a bit further forwards. Then take a halfway lift as you breathe in, hips nice and square. Exhale to forward fold, remembering you don't have to have the right knee locked out. It can have a bend in it if you like. Again, you can have forearms down onto the blocks or hands to the floor or blocks. Take your time now to gently lift back up. You're going to pull the bolster forwards. Take the right knee and slide it down onto the ground, laying your shin down for sleeping swan or pigeon pose. If you prefer deer pose, then you can have both knees bent and sit to the side and have the bolster coming out from your hip. But if you can, let's come into pigeon pose or sleeping swan. You should feel a nice opening through the outside of the right hip. going to slowly lift up. Sit off to the right side. You're going to bring your back leg around and kick your right leg out in front. Coming into a seated forward fold. So you can have your bolster tracking along your right leg if you like to forward fold, or it can be on the inside of your leg if you want to fold a little deeper. If you want to be able to rest your head, maybe you bring a block onto the bolster as well. Creating your forward fold. For me, I feel like I've got a bit further to go, so I'm going to go bolster on the inside of the leg. Now I feel like I'm where I need to be. Feeling sensation in the back of the leg, but also the lower back. And we're going to slowly lift up. Just pop the bolster out of the way. You're going to cross your left leg over your right, wrapping your right arm around your left leg and coming into a twist. Left hand can go back behind you. And you can either keep hugging your leg in, or maybe you take your right elbow across your left knee, and that might give you a little bit more leverage to twist a little bit more. Think about the hips and the pelvis being nice and heavy, so the twist is coming from the hips up through to the chest. Spine is nice and tall. Then we'll slowly release that. Grab hold of your bolster and slide it in to the middle of your mat. And then feel free to lift your hips up and sit onto it. And then kick your feet out as wide as they'll go and come into a wide leg forward fold. So we're getting the hips up high so that you have more chance to lift and tilt your pelvis backwards, so you can lean in and see if you can get that tilt of the pelvis. Then when you fold forwards, maybe you bring a block out in front so you can rest your head onto the block. Some of you that might be too deep, your forward fold may be more just a drop of the chin and a lean forwards. And some of you might not need blocks at all. And we'll slowly lift up. We'll swing our legs around, stay up on the bolster, and then slide your hips down and kick your feet up towards the ceiling for inversion. If it feels good, you can do a sway side to side through your legs here, massaging your lower back. If you prefer to stay still, feel free to stay still. you're ready, let's bend the knees. You can push the bolster out of the way and then curl up if you like. And we're going to make our way over into child's pose. I'm going to go from the opposite edge of the mat just because I think it'll be easier to see what I'm doing when we're on the left side. Let's fold into child's pose again. So you can start off with the bolster underneath your forehead and your arms. Knees can be nice and close together, or if you want more fold at the hip, you can split the knees further apart. And then we'll slide the bolster further forwards so that you can lower your head down towards the mat. Remembering you don't have to lock out your elbows. Then hands underneath the bolster, slide it forwards. Come on up, and then working your way into your little back bend, lowering your ribs down, elbows over the top. And if you want to let your head hang or put a block for your forehead, you can. I'm going to bring my big toes in and let the heels drop out. And then let the hips be nice and heavy. And the head nice and heavy. Just stretch through the back of the neck. Slowly lift up. Press yourself back. You can slide your bolster back with you, and you can lift your knees and place the bolster underneath your knees again. Or you can do this pose with your knees on the ground, and it'll be a little bit more intense. Just at the ankle crease, as you fold in deeper in the ankle joint. Closing your eyes down, breathing, still concentrating on the space between your metatarsals, the bones in your feet. Concentrating on your arches of your feet. And breathing into this pose. Remembering at any time you can lean forwards more and take some pressure out of the heels. Then if you've got the bolster on your knees, lift up, slide it forwards. Go for a pitter patter of your feet, maybe a wiggle of your heels in and out. And then we'll tuck the toes, lift the knees up again, bolster under the knees. Left leg steps forwards, grab hold of your blocks. Take the halfway lift, get up nice and high. And then we'll fold. Think about draping your torso down over your left thigh. So your back toes can stay tucked, or you can point your back foot. Don't be afraid to let that right hip flexor keep diving down into this pose. Mine's still inching its way in, opening up. And the more I can soften my breath, the more I feel like I can soften through the muscles in the body as well. And then we'll bring the hands down, go for a halfway lift, and start to slide your hips back so you can stretch out your left leg, coming into your half split pose or Ardha Hanumanasana. You can stay up high if that's enough hamstring stretch for you, or start to fold forwards over your left leg. And then we'll come back up, pick the chest up, and a re-lunge. And you can go back into your lunge where you drape your torso down over the thigh, or you can bring your left hand to the inside of the left leg and see if you can get your torso perhaps, or your chest, to be either in line with your thigh, or maybe even lower than it. Slowly lift up, tuck the toes, and then lift the hips up and come into pyramid pose. You can step your back foot in, maybe even kick the bolster slightly further forwards, hands either side, so you can toe your left foot back in towards the midline. Then come into your fold. Maybe you can work down through the level of the blocks, getting your hands as low to the floor as possible. Some of you might even be able to be hands on the floor, remembering your left knee doesn't have to be locked straight. bolster and bring it forwards. Slide your left knee down and bring your left shin down so it's diagonal. Right leg slides back, and then you can pull the bolster in. If there's space, you can pop a block underneath your pelvis. And then we'll fold forwards, remembering you can do deer pose here. That would be sitting off to the side and having both knees bent. So you can obviously won't have a block then, because you'll be sitting more over to your left hip. Now we're going to slowly lift up, so you can take your block out of it. If you pop the block underneath, you're going to swing your back leg around and tuck it in as you kick your left leg out long. A single leg forward fold, maybe it's bolster up on your leg. And folding in, you can bring a block or a pillow if you like. For me, I want to go a bit further, so I'm going to go bolster on the inside of the leg so I can fold further forward. Slowly lift up. Just pop your bolster out of the way so you can cross your right leg over your left. Hug your right leg in with your left arm and then twist around. And again, you can stay here hugging the leg, or you can bring the elbow across the knee to give them a bit more leverage for your twist. Trying to sit up nice and tall so you're not slouching, but you're not overarching either. You're just nice and tall through the spine, maybe looking over your right shoulder. And release. Little counter twist opposite way. And then this time, instead of coming into wide leg position, you can start off in wide leg. We're going to bring the bolster into the middle and we're going to sit onto it like you're doing a squat. So if you struggle with the ankle mobility of a squat, take your feet further away from you so you've got less crease at the ankle. If you're feeling good and you want to bring the feet further in, bring the feet further in. If having your hips on the bolster feels too low for you, you can always stack blocks and go up a bit higher. Just coming into your squat, feel free to rest your elbows on your knees, maybe even go for a drop of the chin.
Then we'll take the right arm across, hook with your left, and create a little stretch into the shoulder and the chest compression. Then we'll slide the left hand down to the right elbow, lift the right arm up and drop your hand down your back, getting a little tricep stretch. And let's change to the other side, so left arm across, right arm can hook. Create that little compression into the chest and stretch through the shoulder and shoulder blades. Then right hand slides down, lift up and drop your left arm down your back, stretching out your tricep. And then we'll slowly release. We'll do one last inversion, so you can slide your hips down, roll down onto your back, kick your feet up towards the ceiling, and let your body relax here. Let the hips and pelvis be nice and heavy, so the feet are just dangling up above the hips, or maybe even further over, maybe it's above your belly button or your ribs. You can really fold as deep as you'd like. Hamstrings might be feeling nice and open. And when you're ready, bend your knees, float your feet to the floor. Feel free to lift the bolster and take it out from underneath your hips. Maybe do a stretch out on your mat. And if you feel like there's anything else that you want to do, maybe a twist or a happy baby or anything to finish off your practice. Or maybe grabbing a hot water bottle or a blanket or something to create some warmth for your Shavasana. And then settle in to whatever version of Shavasana you would like.
breath in to the chimes of the bowl. So you'll breathe in when you hear the bowl. Exhale will be as the sound starts to disappear. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. Just let your breath return to whatever feels natural. Take your time to slowly stretch out. Maybe hug your knees into your chest if you prefer to stay in an extended Shavasana, so you can go for longer if you'd like. And when you're ready, making your way to a comfortable seat. Bringing the hands together, create some warmth. And then hands over your eyes, or you can place your hands anywhere on your body that helps to absorb some of that warmth. And then we'll bring the hands together, bring the warmth in close, be kind to yourself and to others, and have a beautiful day. Namaste.